God is good. God is great. God is good. My God is good. Bin Laden's God is bad. His is a bad God. We believe in freedom. So does God. I am not a barbarian. I am the democratically elected leader of a freedom-loving democracy. I am not a barbarian. He is. They all are. I possess moral authority. You see this fist? This is my moral authority. And don't you forget it.
I mean, the majority of the Israeli society still think that the Palestinian problem can be resolved militarily. And until historically they're not going to see that that's not going to happen, unfortunately I'm afraid that we're going to watch massacre after massacre. See, because Israel is living under the Israel is living within this contradiction that there is no compromise with Palestinian nationalism. Because the problem is not once you give them the finger they will eat the whole hand. The notion is that once you give them the finger, you legitimize their rights. Once you legitimize your rights, you in some way or another, in their mind, illegitimize your rights. Because we came and we took the land, and everybody will tell you that. We came and we settled this land. This land was not empty. People realized it back in the 20s. There were Palestinian people. So by recognizing the Palestinian rights to any piece of land, okay, in their mind is recognizing that they had rights to begin with.
You have to take a stand today. You have to tell the terrorists that this is an illegitimate operation. You cannot say both Israel and Hamas are symmetrically blamed. They're not. One side is to blame, the side that targets civilians and hides behind civilians, that's Hamas. The other side represents the rest of humanity. Now choose.
So we have been given an entirely false, an entirely mistaken impression that there is some kind of symmetry as between two, more or less equal parties. Simply not the case. There is a party that occupies, that controls, that is a sovereign state, that has international representation and so on and so forth, and there is a party that is under occupation and that has absolutely no sovereignty, no jurisdiction, no authority.
It's a very tragic, one of the most, the biggest tragedy of history is the type of human being that came out of this Holocaust and the political structure that this human being established to their own protection. And that's what people do not understand. The Israeli psychology is very different from any normal society psychology because it operates in inner laws, which has nothing to do with the way countries lead politics or not. And for instance, the trauma of the world watching the destruction of European Jewry is basically written off Israel any interest in the rest of the world. Israel is interested in the rest of the world whether it can, for its own interest. Okay?
The entirety of the West Bank and the entirety of the Gaza Strip are under occupation. They have never ceased to be under occupation. They are under the complete and total control of the Israeli military. You cannot enter, you cannot leave. You cannot import, you cannot export. You cannot fly over, you cannot travel by sea or fish without the permission of the Israeli security forces. You cannot register a child, you cannot bury somebody, you cannot do anything of any importance without the approval of the Israeli occupation. This includes Gaza. Even Gaza, from which the Israeli army has withdrawn, from which the Israeli settlers were removed, is still, from the outside, under occupation. It is under the complete, total control of the Israeli military.
So it's so sad. It's put you face to face with the reality of injustice, reality of unfairness, the ignorance of the world towards what's taking place here.
And don't you forget it.